Hi guys, welcome back to Technical Gaming. My name is Eric, and in today's video I'm gonna showcase to you the build that I'm working with for almost a week now. This is the Frost Core build. It's a very cheap build. I'm trying to make builds cheap as possible so that we can just simply enjoy the game with less investment, right? Now, let me just show you real quick my gears. So let's just go over to the build. Just to give you a heads up, majority of the gears that I have, I just got from farming, and I just, simply do the crafting and just to make it more powerful. So let's start with the respected tutors phase. This build requires as much as possible a lot of energy shield and as well as elemental damage. So when I received this, or when I got this from the drop, it has already 37% elemental damage. So I just simply lucky to have this in the loots in the nether realm. So I just simply run some crafting, and I put in another 37% energy shield. But you don't have to copy this, but as much as possible you have to invest on max mana and as well as cold damage and elemental damage. Now for the Elder Sage Regalia, this actually I got also from the Netherrealm. It doesn't have any legendary traits or affixes there. I just simply crafted it, and I got lucky, and I got the elemental damage, and the rest is mana and some resistances. For this obsidian amulet, I just bought this in the trade house. Let's see. I'm not sure how much this is when I bought it, but I think it's roughly about 3 FEs when I bought this. I simply got cheaper because, as you can see, what one thing important here is the gold skill level. So I just simply buy it. I cannot craft this because I think when I buy this, it's already corroded, so I can no longer craft it. But if you can get, elemental damage and some resistances on your amulet, as long it has one cold skill level, that's actually great. So I bought this Sage Insight because it provides us energy shield and also elemental spell skill level, as well as elemental damage. So if you go to the Netherrealm, the cheapest that you can buy is only 4 FEs, but I think I was able to buy this for 5 FEs. So I'm still lucky there. And then for my boots, I got this also from the Netherrealm. I got this. It has already 2 legendary affixes here, which is the energy shield and the rest is actual elemental damage. So I just craft and enchant this for some erosion resistance. Now for the Restless Glacier, I think this is really important because Frost Core relies heavily on the frostbite rating of your frostbite rating in order for it to increase its damage. So I put Restless Glacier so that it would provide at least 10 additional frostbite on hit. And I added this one too for elemental damage. You don't have it doesn't have to be corroded, just like what I have. I just simply lucky when I tried to corrode this for adding 3 slow for 3 on hits, but it's not necessary. If you don't have corroded version of this, that's perfectly fine. Now for this, I got one white crystal one. You can actually buy 2 sage one because it would provide +2 cold skill level. I just bought this because it has the cold skill level and enchant of 22 to 34 cold damage. So it has those 2 that I need, so I just bought it. If I'm not mistaken, when I bought this, is only 7 or 5 FEs. What's important is the cold damage to spell. So as you can see, there's a lot of this for 1 FEs, right? At the same time, this one is also good because it would provide sentry skill cast frequency. So I just craft this. So I was able to get the sentry skill cast frequency. So I'm just really lucky on that one. But I highly recommend if you go to Sage 1. This is actually what I didn't notice when I buy this. It has only energy for 32. I'll explain later. That's why my skill slot is really less than it should be. But if you can get 60 energy, you can find a lot of this in the trade house. But what important is the cold skill level, elemental damage, as well as the added cold damage. That's very important. That is really required for this build. So as you can see, my resistances, I was able to cap majority of them. Cold skill, fire skill, fire resistance, but I'm still working on erosion and just 1.4 lightning resistance. So after the gear, let's jump over to the skill. So for the skill, yeah, our main skill is Frost Core, linked to slow projectile, wind projectile, sentry modification, so that we can cast two Frost Core just in one cast. And then for elemental fusion, of course, and then cold penetration. And then for start, because I still have 50% energy shield, so it's very important to have this so I won't die. Frigid transmission, it depends on you which mobility skill that you would like to use, but I like frigid transmission because it really works well with the frost core. You can actually spam this. You can easily crash enemies using this. It's really good for farming. And this one also for thunder core, I added this because it's really efficient in clearing the maps. And at the same time, it actually provides a freeze chance to the enemy, which is supporting the frost core spell that we have. Of course, mana boil is self-explanatory for increased spell damage. For the auras, we have elemental amplification. We have frigid domain. I added restrain just to at least have some sealed mana, but if you don't have restrain, you can still have enough mana. Now for the curse on hit, I just lucky I actually have this loot precise curse on hit when I do the Netherrealm bosses. So of course I put it in, but it still work even if it's just like a normal curse on hit. So if you don't have precise curse on hit, that's fine. Just use curse on hit. Just a regular curse on hit is also good. Of course, elemental destruction and biting cold for more frostbite. And of course, for mana, we need to have magical source and swiftness. So since I only I really lack of energy, I was supposed to put in at least ice imbue or precise projectiles. But if you can equip that, please do, because it would be much easier for you to clear maps. But of course, with this kind of build, I have no issue with the T8 and T7 maps, so you can actually consider just this one. It's really fun playing this kind of build. Now for the hero traits, I'm sorry, for the talent rather. Of course, our first talent would be God of Machines with Sentry, so that you can have at least max Sentry that you can cast. And for the second would be overly modified, so that it will provide sentry damage. So here is the talent nodes. You can check there. And then for the second talent would be Machinist with Heat Up, which is provide 30% additional sentry damage if sentry skill was used recently, because we're using sentry frequently, so this is actually good. For co-resonance, so basically this is more on about sentries, right? So make it more powerful. So the machinist nodes is here. You can take a screenshot. Okay, there you go. The last but not the least would be Warlock, of course. We can provide indifference, which is increases in attack speed, and a cooldown recovery is for our frigid transmission. That's really good, really awesome. Of the beaten track, of course, for the +3 support skill level, that's really cool. So here is the talent nodes. You can screenshot again if you want. All right, there you go. So we're done with the equipments, we are done with the skills, we're done with the talent. Let's just go over to the hero trait. You can just simply copy this. So I just get the legendary for the Frostfire Rampage, because it should provide at least critical strike rating against frostbitten enemies. So we always cast frostbite, so it's really important to have that so that you can have more crits. Also, you need to have this one is also you need to focus to, or you need to look for the memory that has 42 to 48 cold fire damage. Legendary as much as possible, but if you can't, it's fine as long as it has added cold and fire damage to your attack. Okay, so here are my hero traits. You can just simply copy that. For the pack points, this is actually, I focus mainly on resistances because with this kind of build, you really need to have a lot of resistances so that you don't have to die, really quick. So as much as possible, you have to focus on resistances on this. I simply added this so that it would provide at least elemental and piercing damage. But as you can see, I haven't really finished the nodes yet. It's still lack of points here. Okay, because I'm only level 93. But that's perfectly fine. I can manage to go to T8 without any problems of dying. So let's just go ahead and try to see how much is the damage that you can get for this build.
Please select the calibration intensity for invincibility number 2.
Okay. Okay, as you can see right now, I'm not sure there's really inconsistency with the dummy because sometimes I can hit for 150 million, 90 million, 83 million. It's really hard to know why it's doing that. But actually, you can hit at least 120 mil DPS for this kind of build alone. As you can see, that is without or lacking of energy points to add to our skills, right? But if I would add some precise projectiles here or ice imbue, the damage would be much greater than this. Okay, but then again, if you don't want to, if you don't have that kind of energy, that's fine. This DPS would surely enough will allow you to kill at least as much as possible all the enemies, all the bosses in the game. Okay, so I hope that this would help you. This is really a cheap build as much as possible. I'm really making cheap builds, so if you would like to have this kind of content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification so that you will be notified on my next video. Thank you so much guys for watching. Have a nice day.